So this exercise is called, I call it wall bridge, and I like bridging against a wall, or I like having my clients especially bridge against a wall, because often they are going to, especially they're trained in Pilates typically to, do the articulation of the spine, and it's a lot of extra concentric activity down below here. For some people that's okay. For a lot of people, they might be already doing that as a compensation pattern here, and then they're also just shortening the hamstrings because of the feet bend. So even if they're going to do this, having their legs up a little higher, even if it's just on their reformer in Pilates, then I prefer that. And again, it just depends on the person. But as a general thing, when I teach an entire class, I like them to do it against a wall. And there's a lot of great things about bridges. This one is specifically for arms and shoulders. I mean, it's doing more than that, but I'll show you what I mean. So you want to get closer to the wall, so when you have your feet up, it's about, you're not quite, your thighs aren't quite vertical, you're just a little bit back. You're going to reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Hopefully you have a sticky surface, and it helps to not have a slippery shirt too. So you'll go ahead and bridge up. And mostly what I'm looking for is just that they're not disconnecting. So a lot of people will do this, right? And I'm like, okay, let's still have ribs facing pelvis a little bit there. It's okay to round it a little bit. And then when you push into the wall, it kind of takes the tissue and slides it down the back. So it feels really nice, kind of like a massage, like, it just reaches that back. And then you're able to elongate your neck too. I'm going to come up right about there. It feels nice because when I have my upper back down onto the floor here, it kind of creates what's called a fixed point of fixum, or I think of it fixed point for deep neck flexors to activate with. So my tendency is to overuse this, like scalenes and SCM and everything, which we're doing kind of a lot all day. So here, this helps to just activate deep neck flexors while those can relax enough. And so arms up, open out to the side. If you're tight, this will be hard. You won't even want to lower your arms all the way. You can set up blankets or towels down below. So you want to keep your fingers long and reaching. And so what you're trying to do too is see if over time the humeral heads back here can reach the floor. And I should be doing this one more because it's so good. Feels nice. So you're kind of creating that length, stretching. So it's stretching in the front. It's training these to be a little longer and the back to also be wide. So what you don't want to do, if I just said, okay, you want those humeral heads that are coming into the socket to go down, what I wouldn't want you to do is this, like, just try to push it. And if you saw that I just kind of had my shoulder blades going in towards each other, you're still trying to create that width all the way around. So let's do this, bridging up, open out, pushing into the wall, lengthening my neck. And say if this is really intense, you could also kind of create a little rotation. So I could kind of just roll towards my right side and keep shoulder blade down. So I'm also just connecting shoulder blade with the ribs here. And that's one of the really nice things about this is connecting. It kind of smushes the shoulder blade and ribs together, which you do want. You want them to be connected. A lot of times we're moving or walking and it's just totally not in line. I don't know if I'm even demoing that well, so sorry if I'm not. But or say we're doing this work and we're just squeezing it. It's not really, we want it to be connected. That's going to help our rotation, our movement. I'm exaggerating a little bit. You won't be that robotic about it. But that is a nice opening that just kind of addresses some typical patterns or dysfunctions we have. This coming forward in the socket, things up high, the neck going forward, so it helps to elongate this to come down. And if you have kyphosis and upper back kind of rounding, that's a nice position where you can get your shoulders to fix to the ribs to get connected. Because if you're really rounded, it's hard if you're just lying down to feel that. And of course, you don't want to stay up so long. If it starts to bug your back, try to breathe into your back. But if it still bugs you, just come down and then you can come back up again. So I would probably do like 2 rounds of this, maybe a minute each. And over time, the tissue here opens and then it starts to feel really good. here, when you're able to connect the whole back chain from one hand to another, it's like completely connected and lengthened. It feels really awesome. And serves everything else I described as well. Anyway, those are my favorite kinds of bridging.